the sheer increase in amount of and increase in valuations of special purpose acquisition companies or SPACs in the last 12 months was so insane, was so crazy. I dubbed it SPAC Madness. The SPAC Madness bubble got so large, it almost got to $1 trillion in total market cap. It got to around $700 billion in total market cap. There were many SPACs with tens of billions of dollars in market caps who were trying to go after total addressable market when they had limited revenues and no earnings. So fundamentals were questionable at best. Some companies didn't even have fundamentals at all, and yet valuations were going absolutely to ridiculously sky-high levels. Another perfect example of the Cantillon effect. For some examples, we had tons and tons of special purpose acquisition companies launched in February and March and April of 2020, and the amount kept increasing, it seemed, each and every month, more and more and more. It got to the point where many billions of dollars of deals were being done, acquisitions, cheap assets were being bought. It seemed like there was a SPAC in almost every single industry. Some industries like electric vehicles had many SPACs. There were so many SPACs, it was freaking nuts. There was celebrity endorsements, professional athlete endorsements. People had no business experience were pumping these SPACs. But it seems that this SPAC bubble, SPAC madness, may finally be coming to an end, because in the last couple weeks, not only has the Securities and Exchange Commission threatened to actually go after, or at least fine, some of these pump and dump schemers and the egregious accounting fraud that has been occurring in a lot of these SPACs because they don't go through the conventional initial public offering process, which is a lot more stringent. But now the top 25 SPACs of highest market cap are down an average of 44% from their 52-week highs. So it seems that either this inside information about the Securities and Exchange Commission crackdown came out ahead of time, or people are cashing out of their SPACs expecting this to come in the near future. So the SPAC bubble, this SPAC madness, with lots of pump and dumps by aggressive marketers, including one of the owners of the Golden State Warriors, and also really egregious accounting fraud. There's tons and tons of examples of this. Jim Chanos and others have talked about this. And now one of the top short sellers, this guy Nathan Anderson from Hindenburg Research, he's targeting SPACs. So he's just put out a new research report, and there's a Fortune article I'll attach below the video in the information and description section if you want to link to it, talking about egregious accounting fraud and problems in some SPACs that he's starting to target. So it looks like now there's going to be tons of lawsuits. The Securities and Exchange Commission, I don't think they're going to throw anyone in prison, but there's at least going to be fines. Although, unfortunately, with the SEC fines, there is no admission of guilt. So people just pay a fine and they don't admit guilt, which is just ridiculous. But unfortunately, that's how corrupt and inept our Securities and Exchange Commission is these days. But the bottom line, it looks like all of these SPACs that were being created, these special purpose acquisition companies, it looks like it has finally run out of steam. So as you can see there with the chart on the bottom right of your screen, there was an enormous amount of SPACs. They kept increasing and increasing. By 2019, they'd increased. 2020 was crazy, and 2021 was also crazy. Finally, it has run out of gas. That SPAC madness, the bubble is finally starting to pop.